Prepaid collect call from
Rashad Jamal.
An incarcerated individual at Hayes State Prison. This call is subject to recording and monitoring. Please note, due to recent federal legislation, some of our services may have changed. Please visit securoushelp.com and search FCC order for details. Thank you. To accept charges, press 1. To refuse charge, thank you for using Securus. You may start the conversation now.
What's that word, man? Today we got Rashad Jamal with us, man. He a figure who has inspired many with, his spiritual teachings, but at the same time, he been at the center of controversy. So now we got on here, we got a raw, honest conversation, finna dive into the truth, let them know what's going on. Rashad Jamal, what's that word?
Peace, God, man. Peace to God, the guys of Planet God, man. Peace, King Positive Energy. Y'all Chris Elevation, man. What's up, 16? What it do, man?
It's long overdue, man. I remember you had reached out a minute ago. I kind of wasn't really too familiar back then, though. I knew your name and shit, but I had just went through a rabbit hole, everything tied to you, and it's a lot, man. I don't know where to start.
Right, for sure. Yes, I'm definitely a lot.
For the people that might not know you, I just want you to give us like a little intro, take us back to the beginning. What was your life like before the teachings and shit and the platform you got?
Originally, man, I come out of Chicago, man. I'm from 1100. That's the D's in the Noble. That's the Brandy Green area. My mom and them born and raised in the projects, and when they start the gentrification process, like they're doing a lot of communities, you know what I'm saying? We moved down to the D's in the Noble. You know what I'm saying? That's 1100. That's why I'm born and raised Chicago. Went to school out west, Mason Elementary. You know what I'm saying? Definitely participated in the music, you know what I'm saying? Did my thing in high school and sports and shit like that, running track, playing basketball. Definitely focused on the rap, that's what the heart was at. You know what I'm saying? So that's really how things started for me, you know what I'm saying? And just really coming up in the streets, man, and being a product of, the environment of Chicago, being a product of the rap, you feel me?
So was it like a specific moment or event that led to you, speaking about things you're speaking on? Like I hear you speaking on being like a celestial being and stuff like that. And can you also break that down and explain to people what that is?
Oh yeah, for sure. So basically to be 100 with y'all, I always was, tapped in, I always had my third eye open, God. I always was trying to spread truth, but at the same time, growing up in Chicago, the environment where I come from, you know how it is, like in our city, it's the vibration's real low. We see a lot of negativity. We grew up around a lot of violence, you know what I'm saying? So growing up like that, a lot of my homies who, when I try to tell them about, black activism or how we need to come together and improve the enemy, they wasn't trying to hear that type of shit, you know what I'm saying? So what I ended up doing was I ended up like silencing myself. I ended up basically, falling into the peer pressure growing up in the streets of the rap of Chicago. So I always been around, I always been loyal. So my homies was in the street life and gang banging, so that's what I had turned to support my homies and just to survive in everyday life. So I did that for a long time, and eventually, that led to me being incarcerated in like 2012 on the first degree attempt murder. When I beat that case in trial, come home 2016, I vowed to change my life around because I learned a lot and seen a lot. But I still hadn't fully started like teaching publicly yet and nothing like that. Like what I became known for as a poet, a philosopher, a spiritual guru, and any of that. That ain't started to 2020. What inspired that though was when George Floyd got killed by the police. So when he got killed by the police, it was like an overflow of the emotions that I felt within myself because he wasn't the first person to get killed by the police or nothing like that, but it was like back to back. We had a lot of incidents, over that 10-year period from like 2010 to 2020 where the police was killing us and it was getting a lot of media attention. So when I seen George Floyd, down like that on that camera with the knee to the neck by the officer, that just made me say, fuck it. I'm like, man, we've been killing each other forever. So we fight each other, killing each other, man, when the real enemy killing us. So I end up, as you know, the protests broke out all over the country. It started in Minnesota, and I was in Atlanta. I moved to Atlanta in 2017. So I was in Atlanta when the protests hit. So I went downtown Atlanta, and I was on the front line of the protests. And, I watched the police beat old women, women that was just sitting down trying to say, Black Lives Matter. I've seen that firsthand. You know what I'm saying? They clubbing our elderly women and our younger women. I watched that. So then us, the men out there, we stopped fighting the police back. And we took a beat. You know what I'm saying? They got on our ass. They 12. But what really pissed me off and got me going was when I got back home and I turned the news on and I seen how they had flipped the narrative. Like they just made it seem like we was downtown Atlanta rioting and doing all that. And that wasn't the case. Everything started off as a peaceful protest until they started putting their hands on the elderly women and beating them with the clubs, with their nightclubs and spraying everybody and shit like that. So I was just so frustrated. I ended up going live on Facebook and I was just speaking out about how we've been out here being oppressed for so long, and they want us to believe that oppression is over with, but that's really not the truth. And I just started, just going in about the subject, speaking passionately, and letting know, like, listen, man, I'm ready to die for our freedom because I grew up in the streets gangbanging, and there was a million nights where I put my life on the line for my homies, for my hood, and I was willing to die for less. So that's a real purpose and a real cause that we need to be fighting for, just like our elders did, our ancestors did before us. And when I did that, it had maybe it ended up going viral on Facebook. And then the next day, everybody's like, man, that was some real shit. You need to go live again. You need to go live again. So man, I ain't with this going live shit. Because at that time, I'm still focused on rapping. COVID had just hit, so the whole world was kind of like on pause. And then, I ended up going live the next day. And then I ended up with 50 people on the live. And they go live again. I went live the next day. The next day was 100 people, in a week, God. It just, took off, almost overnight. Now, 500, 600, 700 people on the live. And now it went from me talking about police brutality to me talking about ancient Egypt and ancient Kemet. And, how this our land and how, black folks never came on slave ships and how we actually the original Indians and how we divine beings and, that led to me teaching people that we divine beings and basically, us being divine beings because us being black folks, but the reason we the black and Latino community is because we got carbon in our skin. So I got to do my research, and if you do your research, carbon is the basis on which all life is formed. You know what I'm saying? So as black people, that's why our skin is actually black because of the carbon in our skin. And I was researching. I'm like, man, I know it's been a lot of racism from white America. Not all white folks bad though, but there's been a lot of racism from some of them. And I'm trying to figure out it can't be because of our skin complexion. You know what I'm saying? So as I kept researching, going deeper and deeper, I found out that we got carbon in our skin. We give life to the sun. And the sun gives life to us, and the sun gives life to everything on the planet. But when Caucasians step in the sun, they get them cancer and kill them. But I thought it did that to all of us because that's what they taught us in school growing up. And doing my research, no, they don't have souls. They only have spirits, and they don't have an open pineal gland, which is the third eye, which sits between your two eyebrows. The actual gland in our brain called the pineal gland, the third eye. So it makes sense why in ancient Egypt they always showed the one eye symbolism. So as I'm going deeper and deeper, I start meditating and just researching, and it just led to this awareness of why they hated us so much over the years and how we used to live in ancient Africa, ancient Kemet, ancient Egypt compared to how we is today, and how Chicago and Detroit and LA and all these cities used to be ancient tribal locations. For example, Chicago is named after Chief Chicago, which was the chief of the Illinois Confederacy. You know what I'm saying? Chief Chicago, Chief Black Hawk. So, coming out the city, I'm like, hold on. We got hockey teams, called the Black Hawks and shit. So I'm like, oh, that's why they call the hockey team the Black Hawks. Oh, that's why they call it Chicago. Then I found out that the Illinois Confederacy was one of the most powerful tribes. And then I found out that these were all black people. You know what I'm saying? These wasn't no Indians, we the Indians. And then, that's why, if you ask your grandmama or you go back a couple generations, every black person goes, I got some Indian in me, but that's because we the Indians. We was Cherokees, Sequoia, we was different tribes. Just back in the 1800s, 1700s, we was all these different tribes, and they lied to us in history in their school, got us thinking that we was all in Africa. So as all this shit was coming out and being revealed, it made sense to why they hate us, because okay, they came and took the land from us, enslaved us in our land, you know what I'm saying, named all these cities after our ancient words. Like Chicago was an ancient word for power, or powerful. Chicago means powerful. You know what I'm saying? It was a tribal word that we spoke. Yeah, it was a tribal word that we spoke. And actually, Lake Michigan was the place where they buried a lot of our ancestors. That was an ditch, an open grave where they dumped our bodies that we was going to war with them. We was going to war with with these what they call the Spanish conquistadors, or what we know as the slave masters of today that took the land from us. So you get to finding out like, okay, this is how we was building the pyramids because we were so tapped in with nature and everything around us. Like I say, our ability to channel the energy of the sun is next level because, we have this carbon in our skin. So then that explains why we faster than them, why we more athletic than them, why our babies start walking before theirs. It explains a lot, why they don't want to grow our ether out. It just took me on this long, deep journey. And I just started feeding that back to the people, God. You know what I'm saying? And that's how I started finding out that we actually gods. You know what I'm saying? Because we are children of Almighty God, which is why even Jesus said in the Bible that ye are gods and all of you are children of the Most High. You know what I'm saying? Because Jesus was actually black, but they paint him as white. So you get to see the impact of white supremacy and how they took everything from us and put their face on it. You know what I'm saying? You got Mount Rushmore with a bunch of white faces, but ain't nobody white discovered nothing over here in America. You know what I'm saying? Everything was taken from us. And this is how we had the movements in the 60s and stuff like that, where our people was more aware before they started bringing the drugs in our communities in the 80s, and then the drugs turned all the gangs into gangs, because all the gangs started off as organizations to protect the community, the GDs and the Blackstones, the F4, and them, and the Latin Kings, and the Crips, and the Bloods, So it just took me on this long journey, man, and I'm like, okay, so this is why they hate us, this is why they oppress us, this is why they keep us against each other. You know what I'm saying? And I just started feeding it to the people, and it was a lot of information that just a lot of people didn't know, and I didn't know that people know, and then it just grew. It became like a university, and everybody started tuning in, and then I just started going viral, and everybody started sharing the videos, and sitting around with their families watching this by the thousands. You know what I'm saying? YouTube to TikTok to Facebook to Instagram. And that's when I stopped calling us niggas. Like, what's good, bro? What's good, nigga? What's good? On phone now. Like, I might still slip over to say that sometimes I'm from the streets, right? But when I recognize that the black man and the black woman is actually we gods, and even Jesus himself said that Jesus was a black man who the church killed because he was teaching these things, that's when I'm like, oh, we gods because we created everything. We are not Almighty God, but we are children of the original Almighty God, which makes us gods. Even Elijah Muhammad taught that originally in the Nation of Islam. You know what I'm saying? And Yahweh be Yahweh, and Dr. York said in Clarence 13X to the 5%. So if I got to going back in the noble Drew Ali's and the Moorish Science Temple of America was teaching this, and they come out of from under Marcus Garvey, and they were teaching this. So it was like, hold on, these are ancient teachers that we've been knew, but they separated us from them teachers. Because growing up in Chicago, bro, I know that I was aware of a lot of this shit, but I didn't know it at the depth that I know it now. You know what I'm saying? So it's like growing up, all I thought was like, man, I'm another nigga. My bros, my gang, my hood. You know what I'm saying? Like, your ass ain't TD, nigga, fuck you. You know what I'm saying? That's how I grew up. I'm thinking that if you ain't G, you ain't none of these ranks, you are out. You know what I'm saying? So that's why when I see the shorties doing it now, I don't even judge them. I just try to lead them because I know that we suffer from a lack of knowledge of self. So when we killing each other, it's like, it ain't because a motherfucker continually know who their enemy is. You know what I'm saying? Well, a lot of us just, you don't know. And when I see that was my whole to fulfill, because we all got a purpose, God. So I just fully embraced it, and I know what came with it. I'm like, I know when you step in that role, history shows that anybody that has ever stood up against white supremacy, spoke out against oppression, they all end up assassinated. They all end up political prisoners, man. You know what I'm saying? So I knew what came with it, but like I say, coming out the streets, motherfucker risk their life for less every day. My teen years was spent gang banging and robbing and doing all this shit. I could lost my life every day. I was in the county doing the gang banging heavy, could have lost my life. Got stabbed even 8 times before when the neck went out. Either got stabbed in the face and the head, all that, like just fighting over dumb shit, but not fighting the real bully. So I just wholeheartedly embraced that, and a lot of people started looking at me like a revolutionary. They're like, man, we guys, I ain't know that, because I received a lot of backlash for that at first. I'm like, man, we ain't know God, especially the goddesses. I ain't know God, that's fucking wrong with you, lame ass nigga. I'm like, hold on, don't think of the nigga on this YouTube trying to enlighten you that the nigga don't come from this shit for real. Like, I come from this shit for real. I was like one of the worst of the worst. I did it all. I done sold drugs, I done been strung out on drugs, I done shot motherfuckers, I done been shot at, I done stabbed if I been stabbed, I done gang bang, I done robbed, I done clubbed, I used to smoke cigarettes, I used to smoke blacks, drink the 211, drink all that shit. I done did that. I was strung out on X, I done did all that shit, you feel me? But it's about real growing. It's about growing. Life is about development. So as I begin to develop and mature, well, I'm in my 30s. I can't do the same shit I was doing when I was in my 20s or when I was 15. You know what I'm saying? 16. So that just came with maturity. And once I used the history to prove that we gods and what we is, and I ain't coming back from it. Now I'm full force like, no, we gods. I'm telling you what we is at the core. We have spirit, soul. We divine beings. We luminous beings. You know what I'm saying? We nine ether beings because we are composed of nine ethereal elements. You know what I'm saying? The black / Latino woman and man, which is why we receive all the hatred and we are attacked the most because we are the aboriginal beings of the land. You know what I'm saying? So they took the land from us and we classified us as African Americans.
You have 1 minute left.
Latin Americans and shit like that. So that's where the divine being come from. And that's why I say peace God or peace goddess. You know what I'm saying? That's just me. I want to call you what you are at your highest potential, even if he don't know that. You know what I'm saying? Even if he think he ain't looking at himself as nothing but just gang never fold him, I'm still gonna let him know he a God. You know what I'm saying? Because when I was a shorty, ain't nobody tell me that. You know what I'm saying? Or she might look at herself as a bad bitch. That's okay. She's in that mentality right now, but I'm gonna let her know she a goddess because I'm gonna call you what you are at the core. And there ain't nothing that you can't do. I'm gonna let you know what you are, what God created, what Almighty God or Allah or whatever title you want to use created you to be. You know what I'm saying? So that's where that title comes with me calling us God and acknowledging that within us, you know?
You could let us know the difference between a spirit and a soul?
For sure. I know it's gonna it's gonna click off my car right back, but basically, alright, so within the body, you have a lot
Thank you for using Securus. Goodbye.
That God, we back.
Alright, we back, bro.
I can ask you a question. You got, you know what you're doing, shit. You pro, you professional, shit.
So before we got cut off, I was asking you like, what's the difference between a spirit and a soul? Because I think a lot of people believe they're the same thing and use the words, as the same word.
Yeah, man, that's a great question. So basically, and I was the same way. I at a point I used to think the same thing, but basically, okay, so what we see is our bodies. That's just our vehicle. This is just the flesh. So because we have been programmed by those who oppress us, those who took the land from us, to believe that we are just flesh, it's hard to decipher what's the difference between the spirit and the soul. Whereas anciently, before they came to the land and took the land from us and put us on drugs and divided us against each other, we knew this in ancient Egypt and ancient Africa. Our ancestors knew this difference. But basically, when you look in the mirror and you see what you're looking at is flesh, what you're looking at is your vehicle, but that's not the real you. The real you is the spirit and soul and mind. It's flesh. What you're looking at is your vehicle, but that's not the real you. The real you is the spirit and soul and mind. That's all within you. That's the spiritual you. That's the God in you. That's why they say it's life after death, because science proves that energy never dies. Energy dissipates, which means it just takes on a different form. So it's just like when you see a banana, right? The banana is not the banana peel. The banana is inside the peel. You have to peel the banana down to get to the actual banana. It's the same thing with us. This body that we are in, legs, arms, head, this is your vehicle to move around on this planet with. Right, this planet they call Earth, which is basically known as Planet Pi, but I'll expound on that later. But they call this planet Earth. So this body is just it's just your vehicle. Just like a car riding down the street, you see a motherfucker riding in a car. You know what I'm saying? Like, they are not the real person is inside the car, controlling the car, but they are not the car. It's the same thing with your body. So the real you is your spirit, your soul, and your mind. Now, the spirit is composed of electricity. The spirit is electrical, right? The soul is composed of magnetism. The soul is magnetic. So this is how, when you meet somebody, they have a magnetic personality, right? And you gravitate to that person. Or you might see a goddess. You're like, damn, it's just something about her that pulled me to her. That's her soul. Or you might walk in the room 16 and you got that glow to you that be like, man, who is, even if they don't know you, man, he got to be somebody. He got to be some type of public figure because and most public figures and celebrities got that, what they call charisma, but that's really your soul. It's a thing. It's the magnetism of your soul. Your soul is really a magnet. So this is why in our food, for example, they put magnesium in the food, because you have your soul is literally a magnet, and your soul also is what's known in spirituality is omniscient. Omniscient means it's all knowing. It can never be lied to, because your soul is what the Almighty God gave you. Your soul was here before your body existed, before the planet itself existed. Your soul existed.
That's what I want to get into with that.
Our soul.
My bad for cutting you off.
Yeah, no, fact. No, you good, God. Our souls know all truth. For example, if something ain't right, 16, you gonna feel that shit in your gut. A motherfucker ain't lie to you because you gonna get that what they call a gut feeling, right? That's because your soul is inside your gut. This they don't tell us though. They don't tell us like why we get that gut feeling. You know when a motherfucker lying to you. You know when something ain't right. You know what I'm saying? You get that feeling in your stomach. You feel it in your stomach. Well, that's your soul. It knows all truth, so it can never be lied to. So it's gonna alert you if something's not right. Now, the spirit is electricity. Your spirit is when you walk in the room. Say somebody died. Right, and you walk in the room, you ain't got to know nobody died, because everybody in that room, their spirit is going to be so low that means the electricity is going to be low. You're going to feel that when you walk in the room, like, damn, somebody died, what's wrong? Or just like if it's somebody's birthday or they solar return and they turned up, they kicking it, they in high spirits, so they giving off. That mean they are generating a bigger electrical force from their spirit, and you gonna feel that too. You know what I'm saying? So your spirit is electricity, your soul is magnetism, and now your spirit, your soul is omniscient, meaning it's all knowing. However, your spirit is omnipresent. Omnipresent meaning it's all pervasive, meaning it is everywhere, it's everything. So you are not just 16 shadows. You the plants, you the animals, you the minerals, you connected to me, you connected to everything, you connected to everything around you, because God created everything. So this is where the saying comes from, that God is everywhere. You know, we hear that corner like that, God is everything, God everywhere, because God created everything. So that part of spirit that God has, because God is spirit, soul, and mind, He placed that spirit and soul in all of us. So that spirit is what connects you to the Creator, and connects you not to just the Creator, but to everything around you. So your spirit and your soul and your mind, that's what makes up your consciousness. That's the only thing that's inside your body, controlling your body. Like, a lot of people think that the brain and the mind is the same thing, but it's not. The brain is a physical thing. They can like go inside your skull and pull your brain out your head. But your mind cannot be, they can't do that with your mind. Your mind is a spiritual thing. The mind, the spirit tells the soul what to do. The soul tells the mind what to do, and the brain tells the rest of the body. You get me? So like, even a basic movement, God, like, just like, man, you know what, I'm finna get up today and roll up this wood. Okay, your body have to go through movements to get up and even grab that wood. It's the whole process, and that started with your soul, with your spirit. Your spirit was like, you know what, I'm in the mood to smoke. So let me tell the soul, hey, I want smoke. Now your soul is like, okay, let me communicate this to the mind. Now your mind gets that and communicates that to the brain. The brain gets in and communicates to your legs and your arms and everything, when you start moving, so you can go pick up this wood and roll it. You see what I'm saying, God? So yeah, that's what we are at the core, beneath the flesh. So that's why all the different religions, whether it's Islam or Christianity or wherever you want to go, the Torah, I mean, so many different religions, Judaism, they all come back to saying that, you know, they talk about the spirit and how there's life after death, and how God created everything and He's in everything. That's just because that's what you are. You are one with that source. You know what I'm saying? And actually, if you look back into ancient Africa, in our true black history, not American history, right? Because in school we learned American history, so we learned their version of this shit. And we got to know that we can't trust nobody that lied to us, raped our ancestors. I mean, these people raped our ancestors, right? Killed our grandbabies, killed our grandmamas, and stole the land. So why people believe and trust anything they got to say? You know what I'm saying? These people still telling us that Columbus discovered America. We all know that ain't true. But yet they still teaching this shit to us, taught it to our mamas, teaching it to our kids. So you got to sit and think like, why are we believing anybody that's gonna lie to us one time? If I lie to you one time right now, 16 people, you shit that's coming out my mouth. But it's funny how these white folks lie to us, and you woke up and we woke up and we try to tell our fellow black brothers and sisters like, hey, look, you this, you that, you a God, you created that, you created this, and ain't nothing you can't do. They ain't trying to hear that shit. That's how programmed they got us. But a white person tell them they gonna believe it. You see what I'm saying? So it just comes down to understanding that, because this to go back to this divine being thing, like, you have a spirit, soul, and mind. You know what I'm saying? Your mind is something that they cannot tamper with, right? In order to tamper with your mind, they have to tamper with your soul. So that's why they enslaved us physically. And then they came up with the drugs to enslave us spiritually. And with religion to enslave us spiritually to further mislead us and direct us off the path of knowing that we one with God. We are children of God. So so how can you not be about? You know, you got motherfuckers out there like, man, I ain't no God. How? If you're a child of God, how can you not be a God? That's just common sense. Like, if a turtle has a motherfucking baby turtle, what we gonna call that baby? A baby turtle. We're not gonna say that turtle's child is something different than what it's a baby turtle. So if you're God's child, then you can only be a baby God. So that's what I mean when I say we gods and goddesses. And you know what I'm saying? We're not almighty God, but we are gods, though. You know what I'm saying? And the Bible backs it up. Jesus Christ himself said that, and that's why they persecuted and tried to kill him too. You know what I'm saying? Because he was teaching that same ideology that we gods and goddesses. You know what I'm saying? That ye are gods and all of you are children of the Most High. So all of that whole ideology falls under the spirit, soul, and the mind, and that's the difference between the spirit and the soul. And if you also, it's something called Neoplatonic thought, right? That a lot of people might know about. Like, people might have heard of Plato. He's like a Greek philosopher, right? But it's something called Neoplatonic thought, which basically is when Plato was the one that came up with the idea that God is separate from man. Like, before Plato came up with that, and Plato was Caucasian, we always knew in ancient Egypt and ancient Africa, ancient Kemet, that we were one with God. We are one with Source. There's no separation. But after they enslaved us, Plato was the one that changed that and said that no, God is not inside you. God is up in the heavens. And by doing that, now it disconnects you from Source. You know what I'm saying? Just like if you in the crib and it's a phone in the crib, if you want to make a call, the phone right in your room, 16, all you have to do is grab your phone and call out. But if I can come in your house and make you believe that that phone ain't in your room, that phone, if you live on the south side, that phone all the way up north. Now in your mind, you thinking like, damn, if I want to call out, I got to hop on the bus, hop in the car, drive all the way up north to get the phone to call out. When the whole time the phone right in your room. That's the reason why they lied to us and told us that God is outside of us. And so many generations after they enslaved us, we grew up believing that God is in the heavens and not inside of us, and not knowing the difference between the spirit and the soul and the mind, and not knowing why life after death is a real thing. Like, you'll never die. The soul and the spirit is immortal. That'll never die. Your flesh will die. That's why they tell you in religion, in the Bible, your body gonna go back to the dust, but the spirit and the soul, they'll live forever. And that's what you is. Your conscience, the things you like, the things you're into, that's all a part of your soul. Your characteristics, that's all come from your soul, your spirit,
So
and your mind.
do some people have like memories from they soul? Cause I be hearing some people say like, I've been here before, shit like that, and they talk as if they remember a past life. Like, are some people capable of having memories from their soul versus others?
Oh yeah, most definitely. Like, you see, none of these souls out here are new. Like, we have all been to this planet over and over again. Like, we have all experienced multiple lifetimes on this planet. It's called reincarnation. And reincarnation is a real thing. Even in the Bible, the prophet Elias, they know about reincarnation in the Bible for the people who don't believe in reincarnation. Like, you go look at the Bible in the Gospel, in Mark and Luke and Jesus' story, and when Jesus came and he started teaching, the first thing that people said is he must be John the Baptist reincarnated, or he must be the prophet Elias reincarnated. You know what I'm saying? So that's proof that reincarnation was already understood. But yes, reincarnation is a real thing because the soul and the spirit travels to different bodies. Like, once this body is over, when you do live in your experience in this lifetime, your soul, your spirit is going to go on and go to a different body if it has to come back here, or if it chooses to come back here, or if not, it'll ascend and go up to the heavens and the cosmos and go on to complete your next mission, whatever that may be. So this is why they tell you that there is nothing new under the sun, because all these souls, there's no new souls here on this planet. Like, we just take on new embodiments. We just reincarnate and come back in different forms. And especially if like, let's say you had, okay, it's three things that'll keep you coming back, because you're not supposed to keep coming back, right? You're supposed to come here, fulfill your soul contract, and whatever your purpose is, Almighty God gave each and every one of us a soul contract. So your soul contract is what we would call your gift. You know, your purpose, your gift. Okay, but once you come down and fulfill your gift, you fulfill your gift, fulfill your purpose, and then you move on. But however, because we are in a spiritual war with Satan, who wants to keep us here, because remember, they were kicked, in the Bible they tell you, Satan was kicked out the heavens, and he took half of the heavens with him. They tell you it was a third, but he took more than that. So where did they send them to? They teach you in religion that they sent them down here to the planet. So that's why so much evil, and they living this evil out through the people. You got fallen angels and all these evil spirits here, and they jump in their bodies, right? So if you keep in mind that the body is just a vehicle, now you can understand why some motherfuckers just naturally do evil shit. You might have a person in your family, you ain't never did nothing to them, they always talking bad about you, they always doing some foul shit, or you got somebody you show you were loyal to him, this nigga talk behind your back, or you was loyal to her, she want to go fuck your homie, where that come from? Well, that's because an evil spirit got in her in that moment. Just like you might do some foul shit, and then you calm down later, like, damn, I was wrong, I was bogus. That wasn't even me. That's because at that moment, an evil spirit got in you, or a fallen angel got in you. You know what I'm saying? That's why they tell you in Ephesians. I like to quote the Bible a lot because I don't want to lose people, and I know a lot of people out there are familiar with the Bible. But in Ephesians, they tell you that for we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, the spiritual wickedness in high places. You have to put on the whole armor of Almighty God, right? They telling you that because you have to protect your temple. The body is a temple. It can house up to 1,000 spirits, God. So you got your spirit and soul in your body, but you can also allow another spirit in your soul, and another spirit, not soul, but another spirit inside of your body. And in that moment, that's when you do shit and say shit that you really do not mean. So the body has always just been a temple. That's why you might have heard of exorcisms, like when it happened to white folks, the devils take over them so bad they have to get an exorcism. They bring priests in, they trying to get these spirits out. That's a real thing, God. Like that ain't just a movie. Like that's a real thing. You know, when you become possessed, and I know you could think of it. It's been a time when you got mad, man, and you said some shit, did some shit, and you calm down. You're like, damn, why I do that, man? That wasn't even me. That ain't even me, because it wasn't you. A spirit entered you. So I say all that to say that, yes, reincarnation is real. These souls and these spirits just come in. They come in new bodies. So you got a lot of souls where they come here and they get stuck here because there's three things that's gonna keep you coming back on this planet: unfulfilled material desires, unfinished karma. You see what I'm saying? Or if you volunteer to return, lack of knowledge yourself. So unfulfilled material desires is one of the main reasons people come back to reincarnate on this planet. So let me give you an example. Like, say you had a goal to make $100 million in your life, and you was possessed by that goal. And then you get in a car accident or something bad happens, something happens, and you end up transcending, you end up passing the fate. Well, your soul, because the way the universe works, the moment a soul has a desire, it's a universal law that it must be fulfilled. I'm going to repeat that. Once a soul has a desire, God, it's a universal law that it must be fulfilled. So if you desire something and you don't receive what you desire in this lifetime, your soul is going to, maybe your soul is a magnet now, it's going to automatically.
Hi friends, it's Kaylin from Toyota of Hemet, where we make your car buying experience unforgettable. We can't wait to share the all-new...
So it's going to, maybe your soul is a magnet now, it's going to automatically pull itself back here just so it can fulfill what it desires. That's why they teach you must work on banishing all material desires so that you can move on once the stage we call death comes, because if not, you coming right back. Also, unfinished karma. Like, whatever we send out come back to us, right? So the reason that is true is because I'm you and you me 16. So if I slap you 16, somebody gonna slap me. Then you might not steal from me, but then a year later somebody steal from me. So the only reason that happens, the only reason karma is real, karma is just there to remind us that we are all connected. We not separated. You know what I'm saying? So unfinished karma is another thing that will pull you back here. Like if you did a lot of negative shit and you don't cleanse that up in this lifetime, that'll pull you back here too. Right, that'll pull you back here. So this is how a lot of souls keep reincarnating and coming back here. This is why you got things in your life that you might be scared of, and you don't even know where it come from. Whole time you scared of heights, but that means that's because of your last lifetime. You know what I'm saying? Your last lifetime, you was on a plane and it crashed, and when you came back here, they bleached the soul of his memory. So you don't remember your past life all the way. You just got little memories in your soul. The soul, like, yeah, I remember not liking these heights, and now you like them, I'm scared of heights. Or you got something that's allergic to certain things. They allergic to seafood. Well, in your past life, you was doing something in the sea, and you might have died in that sea. So now in this lifetime, you allergic to seafood. It sets off a trigger in your body because your soul remembers that. Because remember, the soul knows all truth. The soul is deep. So this is why reincarnation is a real thing, God, and this is how it pretty much works. So this is why you got the saying there's nothing new under the sun, because everybody we come across in this lifetime, they've already been here before. They've been here a couple times. So you're gonna naturally do things in this lifetime that you did in some of your past lives. And this is why you look at what was going on in the 60s, we doing that same shit today. You look at what was going on back in the 1800s, they were doing that in the 60s. You go way back to ancient Egypt, they were doing that shit. In the 1800s, they was doing ancient Egypt. Like, ain't nothing new. You know what I'm saying? Nothing new, but it's only because all these souls keep reincarnating and coming back, and you hold these memories in. And the more you work on yourself, the more you start to mature, you start to unlock those memories. So that's how reincarnation works, reflection.
So are you do you know anything about like archons in the firmament?
You said archons in the government?
In the firmament. Like
the firmament. Yeah, for sure.
I was watching a video and they was saying something like archons supposed to be like something that's supposed to spread misinformation and keep people stuck on Earth, and the Earth was a prison planet or something like that.
Nah, that's a fact, because
you have 1 minute left.
Because we are in a spiritual war. We are in a spiritual war, God. This is why the Archons do what they do. The Archons basically are just another word for fallen angels, and the evil ones that sided with Satan. So what they do is they create an electrical force field around the planet, because remember, we are electricity and magnetism. So they got under what's called lockdown, which is where they got all these electrical force fields around the planet to stop our soul and our spirit from receiving the cosmic information and the cosmic downloads that we get from the heavens, from the angels and from gods and the gods and stuff like that. This is why it's hard for us to connect to that source. But it's become a lot easier since 2020, because the planets aligned and there's been a crack in what's known as the frequency barrier. But yeah, they use music, the vibrations in music, movies, what they place in the food, what they spray in the air. All that's a part of the whole lockdown. And this is what the Archons do. Archons is just another word for evil spirits.
Thank you for using Securus. Goodbye.